Hey friends, I am so excited about today's video for so many reasons. One, Nikki is doing my makeup, so that in of itself is so exciting. But two, I get to share with you the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose Pro Series Volume 2 8-piece brush set for the first time on my YouTube channel. So I really wanted Nikki to have the first reveal of these brushes. So if you missed it, I'm gonna link her video down below in the description box because she actually did a full reveal of each of these brushes. And on my channel, I thought it'd be really fun for you guys to see these brushes in action by Nikki herself on me. So today's video is going to be Nikki doing my makeup. We are doing like an effortless soft glam look. It is so beautiful and it's very, very attainable, something you guys can do at home. When Nikki's done my makeup in the past, it's always really high glam. It's for either a photo shoot or for an event. So it's not necessarily like practical makeup that is everyday makeup, but this video is, and you get to see these brushes in action and I'm so excited. We worked so hard on this collection. This has been over a year and a half in the making. There are 8 brushes with some truly unique brush shapes and heads, so much detail work, unlike other brushes that we have. Launch day is this Thursday, September 18th. I'll have all the details down in the description box below. They will retail as a set for $199. The full collection value is $225, but the set will launch at a bundled discount price of $199. So I'm so excited to share these with you guys. I cannot wait for Thursday. Set your alarms. I am gonna have a video that goes live Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Central with me using these brushes, and I use them in some ways similar to Nikki, but in other ways different. She has a lot of really unique ways that she uses some of these brushes. So I think it's really good to watch both of our videos to really see like just how far these brushes can take you. So couldn't be more excited and just more honored to introduce this collection to you guys. BK Beauty Nikki LaRose Pro Artist Series Volume 2 is almost here. Thursday, September 18th. I'm so excited. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial where Nikki does my makeup and she does an effortless soft glam. Let's get started.
All right, so to start Lisa's effortless glam, very achievable look. We're gonna try to stick to very minimal products and just keep it really simple, but still like very chic, right? All right, Lisa has a clean face. I'm gonna start with some hydration, and one of my favorite ways to get hydration onto like all my client skin. This actually was pulled from my Pro Kit. I'm running low on it, but it's the Prequel half and half. This has peptides and ceramides in it. It's really great for like nourishing your skin. It's also really great for post-travel. You travel a ton. It dries out your skin. I'm oily, and even travel just dries out my skin a ton too. This is very soothing and very like nourishing, but like on a deeper level. So I love to prep my dry skin clients, and I love to recommend this for anyone who has dry skin.
I'm excited to try this. I've never tried anything from Prequel. Yes.
Oh, this is amazing. You're gonna love it. It's actually, it's kind of like a hybrid between a serum and like an essence. Yeah. So it's like that perfect kind of milky texture. It's a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna apply this actually with an N17 brush. I'm gonna use the lighter fiber side, and we're just gonna go to town.
Oh, that feels good.
Yeah, already. We're gonna get this all over. But what I really like to do, what I really encourage, is look up for me, is to sweep this as close to your bottom lash line as possible. So if you have dry, dehydrated under eyes, depleted of moisture, especially post travel, you really want to take the time to soak this in under the eyes.
It feels good.
Yes, it's gonna be a nice tall drink of water for your eyes.
You use this on yourself too?
I use this more at night for myself, just because, I don't really need that much during the day.
Feels like it would be nice to keep in your fridge too.
Oh, that's
a great idea. Skincare fridge,
That's a great idea.
I keep my essence in my skincare fridge, and I love it. It feels just extra
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. I do.
I actually think about doing that. Nice, generous amount.
Feels so good.
And you can layer this too. Yeah, it's really nice.
I use an essence, but I do like something that's got a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah.
Because my skin just drinks it up so fast.
Yeah.
And I can feel my skin is taking it in, but it's not like, it just feels very hydrating.
It's going to absorb somewhat, but it's not going to be fully absorbed where you feel like, oh, where did it go? Because it is a thicker texture. It's kind of like I said, it's like that hybrid texture.
Where do you buy that?
I think they have it at Target.
Okay.
Prequels. Also on Amazon now. So you can get it on Amazon.
I'm going to get some of this.
Yeah.
And what's the price point on it?
I think it's like under 20.
Oh.
Or around 20.
Okay, so very affordable.
All of Sam Ellis's products are very affordable. Very easy to get a hold of too. Like, it's anything on Amazon is going to be really quick and easy to get. So I love to bring whatever's excess left over. Don't forget about the neck. Bring it down. hit the chest, hit any area of your skin, just so you have like a nice moisturize.
I really make sure to bring all my skincare at least down here.
Now, while that's absorbing, I'm actually going to go straight into brows and get some framework done. We're going to use the Revie Beauty Everyday Brow Pencil. This is a really quick, easy way to define your brows, to fill them in, to really like fake it till you make it. So if you don't have a lot of brow hair like me, yeah, this will really, the fact that it's a small, but still big enough where it gets the job done fast. I think they did a great job of perfecting the size of the actual pencil, where it's not so small you just can't get in there. You know what I mean? So we're going to just frame a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on the top.
And I'm sorry, what color are you using?
Taupe.
Yeah.
So I actually used this on you yesterday. I did Lisa's Glam previously, and I use this, and it's a perfect color on you. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. And I do find too that these are really long wearing. So if you're someone like me and you have oily skin, this doesn't break down with your natural oil. It stays put really well.
I love how just easily it applies to the skin. It's not one that you have to apply a lot of pressure. Like you're doing a very light pressure.
Yeah,
so
can you feel that?
Yeah, it's a soft, get a very soft natural brow, but still get the product to apply. With brows, it's important not to have too hard of pressure, because then you get that really strong brow. You need a product that's creamy enough and that deposits color well.
Yeah, it's got just enough like waxiness to it where it glides on, but it's also gripping, which can be difficult with products too. Like brow pencils, if they're too waxy of a formula, they just don't stick to your skin. They kind of slide around, and then you have to end up applying way too much pressure and go over the areas over and over again, right?
Yep.
Whereas this actually adheres to your skin really well. So if you have very sparse brows, this will actually stick to your skin.
Oh, I love getting my makeup done.
I know. Lucky. Trying to convince Lisa to do my makeup.
I'm scared to do your makeup.
She said, no.
No.
Okay, brows are defined.
So good.
And I like to start with like base layer of brow, and then I'll go over them again after we have foundation on, because inevitably you end up hitting them, you end up running into them, you end up messing them up a little bit. So having a base layer and then just going back is an easy way to do it. Still very effortless, still very easy. And then another product that is really effortless and will achieve like a quick brow is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. It's from my Pro Kit, so.
It's so good. It adds volume to the brows. It's got little fibers in it to really add that volume and dimension.
So I love to just fluff up the brows first. So I'll kind of go against the brow hair, like where it naturally grows. I'll go against it, push it off to the opposite direction.
I want to watch you do
this. Grab a mirror. And then I'll start to, like once both sides of the brows are coated, then you want to take it back and re-manipulate the shape to
lay it down.
Yeah. Now, Lisa, actually, I've learned more about your brows the more I've done your brows. They do want to do their own thing. Like your brows want to do their own thing. They want to go in the direction that they want to go in. So I actually usually will seal in Lisa's brows with another Stronghold brow gel. You can totally skip this if you are in a good place just with these two products.
If you've got better brows than I do, you can probably skip this next step. Yeah, my hair grows like down, and it just, my brows are a challenge, and they don't really grow much.
Same. Mine don't grow at all.
Yeah.
Mine are like,
we're done.
We're good. You got enough. 3 on each side is enough. 3 hairs is the max. So using the tip with the wand too, I like to kind of, again, push the product and push the brows back up. This does have hold to it. It's also only like $5. It's such a bargain.
Good. I usually buy a lighter color. I don't know if the color I buy is taupe. It's a lighter color, but this
taupe
looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks good. It doesn't
just
look too dark.
Heavy-handed. So now, optional, but I'm going to seal in and kind of lock in Lisa's brows with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. OG favorite of mine. And I do love this product because it never gets crusty. There's a lot of clear brow gels that end up being kind of crusty the more you layer them. And just like throughout the day, you could kind of see like this white, filmy foam. They almost look like, just like filmy. This never gets that kind of look to them. We're just going for easy. We're not going for a harsh laminated brow. Just something to lift them up and to kind of maintain the shape. Exactly.
Yeah. It feels like it's absorbed, but it still feels
it's still
supple.
wet.
Yeah. Well, that's what's about wet. It just feels like hydrated. Yeah. Sometimes I'll use an essence and I'll apply it, and then 5-10 minutes later it feels like I applied nothing. It feels dry. This does not. This feels good.
Yeah, and your skin looks really juicy.
I'm excited,
really glowy
to get this.
You're gonna end up being hooked on this. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna lock in the Prequel half and half with one of my favorite moisturizers, the Dieux Instant Angel Lipid Rich Facial Moisturizer. This is a holy grail for me. And this is the one that's in my makeup kit right now. This has become a client favorite too. Everyone always says
you got me on this and I like it.
Yeah. You know who got me on this? Allie Glines.
Oh, okay.
She was like, have you tried this? And I said, no. And I tried it because she was raving about it. And she was so right. I'm going to start with like a smaller amount.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
You don't want to overwork your skin for like, we're going for like a daytime, more fresh, more like effortless kind of glam look. Like very effortless. And we don't want to overwork Lisa's skin, even though she is more dry. So we're going to start with this amount and then we'll see how her skin handles it and takes it.
This is fragrance free also.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I actually love to use this product at night too as more like a mask. So I'll really load up my under eyes and I'll use it almost as like a treatment. It works every time if my under eyes are feeling really dry, really like dehydrated. It will really almost like treat it. So I'll wake up with like extra plumped up under eyes. And depending on how your skin feels after, I might add a little bit more like I said, but we'll kind of start with this.
Look at my chest, like where you applied that Prequel. Like you can see that it's glowing.
Yeah, and it feels so nice too, right?
Feels good.
Before we get too far into the makeup look, it's so important to prep your lips also. So her skin is prepped. Don't forget about your lips. They will thank you later when you get to that point in your makeup routine where you're doing your lipstick. Your lips will be plumped up. They'll be hydrated and ready to go. So this is just the Tatcha lip mask. It's very thin. It's not like a goopy, like sticky one. It's really nice and like, it's very watery almost. Okay, we're gonna start on Lisa's eyes. I'm gonna use just a concealer that I'm gonna be using under her eyes later on. I'm gonna use this to prep her eyes, reduce any redness. Just use a small amount, really quick, really easy. This is the Dior Backstage Concealer. This is the shade 2CR. So it's more of a cool rosy undertone, which when we get to your under eyes, the rosy undertone of this is gonna help to really counteract any redness under your eyes and really do like a really soft, effortless, like color correction and concealing at the same time. So it's going to really knock out two things at once with this tone. Okay. So just taking some on the back side of my hand.
I love this concealer.
I love it too. It's very thin.
Do you ever find that sometimes it comes spews out of here though?
Yeah.
I've had one or two that have done that. And I wasn't sure if it was just the one I got or...
No, I've had the same thing. Look down for me. So what I'm going to do is use this actually as a really quick way to do a brow bone highlight. Okay. It's a slightly lighter shade than her skin tone. So it's going to help to highlight and brighten the inner corner of their eye. Like so right here, it's going to bring some nice soft brightness into this area, which is, you know, typically pretty dark. And since it does have that cool undertone, it's going to help to reduce the look of that redness.
It's such a pretty formula. I also love the foundation, the face and body, right? Or backstage.
Backstage, face and body.
I get it confused with MAC face and body.
I know. Very different though.
Yeah, they
very
are.
different. That's super glowy. The Dior Backstage is good for all skin types. Dry, oily, you name it. So I'm using the N24 brush. This is a packer brush, but I also love this brush for any kind of concealing or like line work even. So I'm kind of lining this up underneath Lisa's brows to just clean up around the brow pencil that we placed earlier, and to of course lay down this one color all over. It gives you like a little bit more of like a lift, right? Not that you don't have a lot of redness on your eyelids, but it does reduce a little bit. And even if you're going for like a really simple, like more effortless glam look, it's a good idea to start with a nice blank canvas. So to use just a little bit of concealer on your eyelid, blend it out and use your shadows on top, you're gonna end up with a shadow look that's just more true to tone, right? It's a really simple tip, but one that I always recommend you use because it just makes a big difference. I'm gonna grab my N16 brush and just use the longer fibers of the brush just to blend out the edges, making it nice and seamless into the rest of her skin. So it's not going to be, you know, any kind of harsh line of concealer around her eyes. Now, once that's on, we're going to dive into a product that we're both equally obsessed with. I love all of these.
I need this color though. I'm excited for you to try this on.
Yeah, so mauve. You haven't used mauve yet.
I haven't used mauve.
I love mauve, especially on your eye color. I love mauves. I love like the cranberries. Colors like that are so beautiful and they're so flattering. So we're going to go for like a soft, kind of like a rosy mauve look to your eyes for this whole eye makeup look.
I love it.
And we're going to use really minimal products too. So we're going to start with mauve. So I applied some on the top of my hand. I'm going to use the N20 S brush. This is the small, fluffy blending brush. I'm going to take a small amount. You're just going to take the top of the fibers where like they're longer. Just dip into a little bit of mauve, just like that. Coat the very top of the brush. And then we're going to start on the base of your eyelid. So close for me. This is a fluffier brush, so it's going to deposit a really soft wash of this color. It's not going to be too intense and too overly done. So it's going to be a really nice, soft eye makeup look. These are very richly pigmented. So using it with a more fluffy brush is going to deposit a really soft amount of color. So it's not going to be too intense. And I'm just bringing this all over. It's going to be your base color, your crease color, and then with whatever's left over, we're just going to softly blur it and blow it out towards the temple. very softly. So that's one eye, just with a little bit of mauve.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Isn't it pretty? One more light layer.
So you're gonna do eye makeup first.
We need some time for that dew moisturizer to now absorb.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to just slap on our foundation. And this gives us a chance to just really freely blend on those eyeshadow products and not have to worry about fallout, not have to worry about going too low. If we go too low with the blending, we're going to clean it up. And you do want to give your skin prep maximum amount of time to really absorb. So really you get all those benefits, right? And that avoids pilling and things like that. So we'll let that soak in. I love this color on you. This is so pretty.
So when you do your client's makeup, you always do this order?
I do.
Yeah.
Skin prep, usually eye patches, lip prep. Then I go straight into brows, eyes, and then go back to complexion. Also, to me, my mindset is always I want the complexion to be as fresh as possible. So by doing it at the very last step, I'm giving them like the most fresh complexion to take on their day.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna go with another easy product that anyone can use. Like I find this to be such an easy, like user-friendly product. So it's so quick. You want to blend them out fast, but once they're on, they stay put and they don't crease, which is amazing. And then the Jane Iredale Color Luxe eyeshadow sticks. These are a favorite of mine. I love bronze. Bronze is one of my go-tos. Bronze, and I'll put Gatsby either in like the center or my tear duct. Today I'm going to use Rosé on you because I want to keep it with that blush, soft, like effortless kind of look. So we're going to use Rosé. These are so easy to use. So I'm just going to take this directly. This is a new one, and just swipe this across Lisa's lash line. We're not going for an intricate eye makeup look. We're going for just easy. Anyone can do this. Anyone can follow along these steps, and you'll be left with a very attainable, soft glam look. Light pressure, because we don't want to, you know, disrupt that Makeup by Mario underneath. So applying light pressure, bringing it up to her crease, and then a little bit in a V shape in that outer corner. And I'm going to go in right away with an N13 brush, and we're going to softly blend out this crease. Okay, eyeshadow is done. We're not going to do a whole lot. We're going to do some now soft definition. I'm actually going to grab a longer pencil. This is the shade Chocolate. Yeah, so Chocolate though is so good. This is from Persona Cosmetics. Very long wearing, smudgeable, but once it's dried down, it's locked in.
They're so soft too. You know, these are viral on TikTok. Yeah. These are like viral on TikTok, yes.
I didn't know that.
They're so good.
I've been a fan of these for as long as she's had these out.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I've known Persona for a long time. So we're going to use this. We're actually using it a different way. We're going to do a very soft technique. I'm going to grab the N21 brush, the smudger brush. This is like a mini little pencil.
You're going to run it.
Yeah, I'm just going to run it into, this is a brand new one. I'm going to run it into the tip of the actual pencil. Just get a nice small amount of product. Not overworking it. We're going for soft glam, really easy. We'll go back to this in a bit and we'll tightline with it also. I want you to actually look straight ahead.
I love this brush.
And we're just going to map out a really soft eyeliner look. Nothing overly complicated, but I really like to start it in the outer corner where the top and bottom lash line meet, and then just drag it out a touch. So just a really small little baby wing. Yeah. Now, after this is initially applied, I'm actually having you look down and just get this really close to her lash line, basically tucking it into her lash line. So it's going to be a really soft wash of definition. The bonus too is it's going to be very long wearing because once this pencil dries down, like I said, it's not going to budge or move. Really pretty. Not going all the way in because I don't want to close up Lisa's eye shape. Lisa has really big eyes and it's really hard to close up your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
I'd have to do a lot of thick liner to do that. So I'm just going 3/4 of the way in, and I'm not going all the way across. I'm just going to keep it nice and tapered so it's thicker in the outer corner. And now let me have you look down. We're going to tuck this into her waterline and even more into her lash line, creating a really nice thick lash line. So especially in person, this is that kind of move that is really impactful when you're, you know, eye to eye with someone. It's not like overly lined, but it's giving you a lot of soft definition. And it's making your lashes look thicker without mascara. So same thing, I'm just going to start in the outer corner of her eye where the top and bottom lash line meet, dipping the brush into the liner, running it back and forth, and then just tracing where I want that wing to be, that little baby wing, pulling it out a touch.
And your pressure is really light.
Yeah, we're going for just, you know, very soft, very easy. So same thing, open, look down, a tight line. Getting right in there and really working this into your lashes. Ooh la la.
Yeah, that little detail makes such a difference.
All right, so I'm actually have Lisa curl her lashes because you're a pro at it, the BK Lash Curler. Okay, quick coat of mascara. We're just going to use a drugstore favorite. It's actually from my pro kit. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Waterproof. We're only using waterproof. Feel free to use whatever you want at home, of course. I typically use waterproof in my pro kit, and this is all from my pro kit. Using a disposable wand, I'm just going to get this to Lisa's root. Wiggle a couple of times very gently, and then pull straight up. This is a very wet mascara formula, so you want to be careful and really slow it down so you don't run the risk of splattering the formula onto the eyelid, or it can be kind of messy if you don't apply it a little more cautiously. So getting to the root, wiggling, pulling up. Sculpting before we do our base and our foundation. Okay. So I'm actually gonna grab a product that blends really easy, and it's a really easy way to sculpt out your skin without, you know, having to blend it overly and having to like work too hard. So very user friendly. These are the Fenty cream bronzers. I love these. I use these all the time. You can either build them up or make them like really soft and sheer. I'm just gonna do a light layer on Lisa. I don't want to overly do
contour. Yeah,
no.
We wanted this to be something that people will
very
actually
easy.
do at home.
Yeah, we're gonna be using 03 Macchiato. Mine is depotted, and we're gonna go in with the N18 brush. This is a contour brush, sculpting brush. You use with cream products, powder products. I actually love using this for powder bronzer, which we'll get to in a bit. But I'm just gonna dip in and evenly coat all the bristles. So I like to do like a stamping motion into the product if you're using a cream, evenly distributing it onto the brush so it's nice and even. If it's even on the brush, it's gonna go on your skin even. So just keep that in mind. If it's looking patchy on the brush, it's gonna look patchy on your skin. You're gonna have to work harder and it's not gonna be as easy. You're not gonna get an effortless glam.
Do you always like kind of contour and sculpt and bronze with cream before foundation?
Usually, yeah.
And is that how you do your own makeup too?
No,
okay.
I'm lazy.
You do foundation first and then...
You know, it depends on the day. It depends on like if I'm going to be photographed. If I'm going to be taking pictures, yep. If I'm taking pictures, or if I know I'm be, if I want to just look my absolute best.
You'll do this first.
Yes. If it's a big day and it's important, then I will do this first. Otherwise, you know, it really doesn't matter. I try to keep my makeup pretty easy. You know, a lot of my efforts go to my clients, to be honest. And also when I'm filming for YouTube, a lot of my effort goes to that. So if I'm doing my everyday makeup look, I don't go through that many steps. And, you know, going back to like, this is a very attainable, effortless glam look that anyone could do. It's a very soft glam look. So it's not gonna be overly complicated. You don't have to do this, but what we're gonna do in the end is apply a really small amount of foundation. So this will peek through in a really soft, natural way. Just giving some like definition, pre-foundation. And products like this too, when you're using a cream bronzer or a cream sculpting product underneath your foundation, they actually do give you some level of coverage, right? So when you think about it that way, we are getting some coverage on your skin. So therefore, when we go on top of foundation, we don't have to use necessarily as much. So lending to like the quick, effortless, soft glam, very achievable look. And it's simple too. Just stamp in, stamp on, blend out the edges, and you're done. Make sure you're getting up to your hairline so there's no line of separation. So I like to go right up to where the baby hairs are, tap it in, blend it out. Same brush, we're not gonna overly sculpt Lisa's nose, but I do want a base layer of this product. So I'm just gonna run this on the side of her nose, underneath, nothing fancy, just getting a nice wash of color. All right, Lisa is sculpted, really soft, really natural, nothing too over the top, just enough to give her some warmth and structure underneath. For foundation, I'll be using the Vive. This is the Skin Nova Complexion Balm. This is a really beautiful product. It's not the best suited for my skin type, but Lisa is more dry and I think your skin can really handle it. It's a really nourishing product, but it's also ultimately very, very easy to blend onto your skin. It takes very minimal effort. It's kind of like a hybrid between a foundation and a skin tint or a tinted moisturizer. It just kind of melts into your skin with very minimal effort in terms of blending. So we're gonna use the shade 210.
I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, I think you're gonna really like it.
Where do you find her products?
So she's sold on like Space and K,
okay,
but she's also sold just direct to consumer online.
Okay, so you order these on...
You can order them online, yeah. I actually, last time I was in London, I bought all of the Vive products. I went to Space and K, I bought every single thing I could buy that she had out. This wasn't out yet, but I did a full face of Vive Cosmetics for my YouTube channel, and I've been a fan ever since. Her makeup is...
She's a makeup artist, right?
She's a makeup artist, she's a YouTuber. She has a great eye and really great formulation, so I love her products. Now for foundation, we're actually going to apply your foundation with the N20 brush. This is going to give you a really nice soft application. It is a fluffy brush and it's going to diffuse the product too, so it's not going to look like you have a heavy amount of foundation on your skin. I warmed it up on the top of my hand first. This will actually give this kind of product more grip because it is more like a balmy product. So by almost like drying it up a bit, it's gonna give it more of a like
I'm gonna take the
grip.
mirror up here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna work into my brush and just do buffing motions to get a nice wash of coverage. We're not going full coverage with this makeup look. We're going just really soft.
So this is like my foundation for the day. Yeah, that's pretty.
It's really pretty.
And how's the finish on it?
The finish is more glowy. I think depending on your skin type. For me, it's ultra glowy because I am oily. If you are really dry, I think it's gonna be more of like a soft satiny finish. So it really depends on like your skin prep and your skin type naturally. For you, it might be more on the glowy side because we do have some really good skin prep underneath. But we want that, you know, after a long day and after a lot to travel, this is gonna be really nourishing on you.
And it stays really well.
It does.
As long wearing, yeah. And it dries down.
It does dry down, but again, don't, you know, depending on your skin type, don't overwork the moisturizer. Don't put too much underneath because that could interfere with like the dry down time and also inevitably like the wear time.
It's pretty. It feels really nice.
It's a really great texture. Ultimately, really great for dry skin, dry or mature skin too. I think would be really nice. So buffing it on, I'm doing like circular motions and just back and forth and just really being loose with the application and letting the brush do all the work for me. We have a really good color match, so I'm not gonna bring this down your neck.
Pretty. That's very pretty.
Now I'm gonna layer one more coat of macchiato with the N18 brush, taking a really, really tiny amount. Just by layering a small amount of each of these products, it's gonna give you more of a long lasting but still natural finish to your complexion. Now before we get into concealer, I'm actually gonna do some under blushing. I'm gonna put your blush on first. I'm gonna bring it pretty high up underneath your eyes. We're gonna get a certain level of color correction with this technique. It's gonna be really quick and really easy, not overly complicated. So don't be intimidated by doing blush before your concealer.
Okay.
Swapping it out sometimes makes a really big difference, especially if you do have any kind of color correction that you want to achieve, right? So I'm gonna take Carmel from Persona. This is my Persona Cosmetics Deep Potted palette. They actually sent me this in PR to like a bunch of makeup artists and I received this, which is so handy. So it's actually all their blush colors and then their cream bronzers as well all in one palette, which is super convenient.
So convenient.
So I'm just gonna scoop some out and apply it to the top of my hand. Same brush, I'm gonna use the N20. It does have foundation on it. That's totally okay. It's a small amount of foundation. It's not gonna interact or interfere with like the application of this blush. I'm gonna work it on top of my hand using this as a palette.
When you work with a cream blush on yourself, do you just go directly to the stick or how do you work it?
I will either do, if it's a really difficult formula, like if it's more of like a thicker, more dense cream, like more of like a dry cream, I'll work it on top of my hand first. I'll break it down, I'll warm it up, and then I'll dip my brush into the hand just like this. If it's more of like a creamy, very glowy product, I'll just take brush to the product then to my skin. I don't typically ever really directly apply unless I'm in a really big hurry.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you like to do?
I usually take the brush to the product.
Yeah.
Right? And then sometimes I'll bounce it on the back of my hand if it's a thicker formula.
Yeah, just to like pre-warm it up.
Blot some of it off.
And look up just a bit. So I'm kind of hitting just a little bit under Lisa's eyes. Really thin, really, really small amount. And just getting this whole general area too, even like kind of up to her temple, just to really give like some vibrancy and some warmth to this area. So same thing with this brush, the longer fibers, you could really just kind of go back and forth without ripping up the foundation underneath, or you could do a tapping motion or a bouncy motion. It's really up to you. You could do circular motions, whichever way you're blending your product on. Since it's a diffusing brush, you can really just get in there without the fear of it like disrupting your formulas underneath. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop whatever's left over, just really lightly under your eyes. With whatever's left over, we're gonna also take a teeny bit across her nose. That's a great color. The color really picks up and
Very pretty.
plays off the eyes too.
Yep, very pretty.
For concealer, we're gonna go back to the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector in the shade 2CR. So same thing, I'm gonna apply it to the top of my hand. I'm gonna go back to the N24 brush, the small brush we used originally to carve out under your brows. I'm gonna dip in, and what I like to do for any makeup look is I like to let my concealer, either on myself or on my clients if I have time, properly dry down. It allows me to use a lot less powder to set the under eyes and to lock it into place. So if you're someone who doesn't like a lot of powder, if you have more dry skin, letting your concealer dry down to, I'd say like 80% almost, is a really great way to minimize the amount of powder necessary to lock it in. I'm just gonna hit right here. And I am gonna drag this slightly along the side of Lisa's nose and then pull it out. And I like to bring it around the nose and then a little lift.
I love this concealer. It's so natural.
It's actually great coverage for being such a thin product, and it's very layerable, it's very buildable, but it doesn't look heavy and it doesn't feel heavy. It's like a very lightweight formula that just, it wears and it almost like flexes with you. So in an area that I like to call like high traffic, like your under eyes or around your mouth, it's gonna flex with you, and it's not gonna show that many signs of like fatigue and like cracking throughout the day. So
and all the lines and expression lines and smile lines.
And even if it does, you know, move around a little bit, it doesn't look bad. So same thing, using the smaller detailing brush. I love to use this brush for concealer because it does do a great job just laying down the product where I want it with great like precision. And we'll do a little natural highlight right between her brows and a little bit on the top of her chin, just with whatever's left over. Now the trick is let this dry down. So we're gonna do something else in the meantime so we're not just wasting our time. We'll let this dry down while we hop on to something else. Okay, we are doing a very effortless glam look, and you can incorporate lashes into that routine, believe it or not. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. It does have to take up a ton of your time. But what you want to do is get a really good lash that you could cut in half and use just one single lash to make a half lash. This makes it so simple and so easy. I've turned so many of my friends and like colleagues onto these lashes because they're tapered on each side. So if you cut them in half, you're left with like the perfect amount of like oomph and like ba ba boom, but it's not over the top. These are a really soft, fluttery lash that is just
very soft and fluttery.
Yeah, just really pretty. It doesn't take the look over the edge.
Yes, weave them into your natural lashes easily because there's not a harsh drop.
Exactly, and the band is also super thin on these, so they're not going to feel like heavy or like they're weighing down your natural lash. So they're really a great option to just, even for like a natural makeup look, just to bump up your eyes. So I cut them in half. I'm gonna use the Ardell Stronghold glue. This is my favorite glue.
That holds well.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, like last night when I was taking my lashes off. I mean, it wasn't hard. Like I could pull them off and remove them, but usually when I remove lashes, I'll just take my micellar water and I'll just remove my makeup and just rub it and they'll come off, but it didn't come off. I had to like really peel it off.
Very strong.
But it didn't pull off any of my lashes though either. When I put a little more effort into it, it did peel off.
Yeah, if you just give like your micellar water some time to absorb it and like soak it up and like break it down, they'll come off really easy. But the great thing is they don't lift throughout the day, you know? Yeah. So I'm gonna have you open and look down towards your lap. So I'm gonna place these on the outer corner of her eye. I like to go above the lash line and then just kind of plop them down. And then I'm gonna take each end with tweezers, and this is where you want to finagle them and like push them into your lash line to really secure them. How's that feel?
Good.
It looks right at? Yeah. They're just so pretty.
Oh yes, they are.
I buy these in bulk. And if you want more glam than this, you can do the 421s. They're a little bit longer and they're slightly denser.
So you cut this one lash in half and you're using both halves of that lash, right?
Yes. So it's just one single lash cut in half. And then you switch the order. You just kind of pop them on either side.
And you put the small or the shortest length, that's the one you line up in the middle.
Yes.
And the longest length on the outer corner.
So they ultimately make like the best half lash. Same thing, you're open, look down. I go above, plop it down, and then just wiggle each end so they're nice and secure.
Do you wear lashes every day?
Not every day, but
you wear them a lot, don't you?
I do. You know, honestly, I'm on a lash kick for myself.
And you put these on?
I love these. Okay. Yeah, they're just so flattering.
And I will say, I noticed this glue didn't like stick in my lashes. Like a lot of times when I wear lashes and I remove them,
gets caught in the middle.
I feel like I have glue in my lashes for days.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that with this.
Same. I use this glue in my kit and also on myself. It's one of the best. All right, now that the lashes are on, we've had the concealer dry down for a good amount of time. So now we're gonna go in and actually tap in and blend out the concealer, then set into place. I'm gonna be using the N19 brush. This is the ultimate like coverage brush, right? But since we are doing a minimal amount of coverage with the under eyes, you could still use this brush. It's just going to pack it in and lock it in really, really quickly. So I like to use a stamping motion and just tap it and stamp it into place, pushing the product, getting it to adhere to her under eyes and really like locking it down. And the good thing is too, since we let this dry down quite a bit, we're not gonna have to apply that much pressure to blend it out, and we're not gonna have to apply, like I said, much powder to set it into place.
The angles on this brush too are really great for under eye area. You know,
it was designed for that.
Yeah, it's the triangular tip gets right in the inner corner, and then it's got a straight edge on the side to get right down the side of the nose, straight edge to get up to like lift and pull the eye up.
Yep. So you can either like sculpt it up, but that tip, that triangular tip, you want to line it up in the inner corner of your eye and then actually bring it down along the side of your nose for a little bit of sculpting along the side. No matter how you line it up, it's gonna just pack in that coverage and just get it done. So same thing, we're just gonna tap this under her eye.
It's very dense, but it's got some flexibility, a little give to it.
Yeah,
right?
So what you could do too is like, you could use it in a blending motion just to scoop up and to blend out that lifting part of the concealer. lifting it up into the temples. You don't have to only use a stamping motion with this brush. You could definitely just blend it out and soften the edges.
I've used this too to like really sculpt out a cheekbone.
Underneath. Yep. This is a great tool too. If you take the leftover concealer on it, let's say you went too low with your bronzer. Let's say you like went just you blended it down a little too low on your face and it's not giving you a lifted look. If you take whatever's left over and you just scoop it right back up, it's gonna clean up anywhere you went too far down, even with your blush too. Like I actually went a little too far down with your blush right here. So I'm gonna use the remainder of the concealer on that brush to just kind of lightly erase it.
Yep, soften it.
Yep. Now we're gonna actually use the same brush to set her under eyes. And for under eyes, I'll be using the Kogan Dough. This is the Moisture.
I need to get this.
Oh, it's amazing. Sheer Moist Powder. This is a dry skin person's dream powder. Small amount is really all you need. I have some just shaken out into a tissue. I'm gonna take the brush. I'm gonna work this into the palm of my hand. Same exact technique you would use for a powder puff. Same exact idea. You're gonna work it the exact same way. Evenly distribute it so it's nice and evenly coated on the bristles. Before we set, buff out any creases so we don't lock them in. Keep looking up and you're just gonna gently press this under the eyes. This powder I discovered for one of my dry skin clients. Like I've had many over my career that have just hated powder. So this one, along with the by Terry Hyaluronic loose powder, are a dream for dry skin. But even for oily skin like mine, I could still use this powder to lightly set my makeup. I just know it's not gonna keep me ultimately like shine free all day long, but it will softly keep it at bay. It's very blurring too, very skin smoothing. So if you have any texture, it's going to help to smooth the look and the appearance of like larger pores, any skin texture, even dry patches. This powder will go over it like a dream without enhancing it.
So if you're using like if you want to maintain your dewy glow foundation, but you want to set it with a powder to lock it in,
this would be a great option.
Yeah, like that's the thing about setting powders. Like you might have a foundation and you're buying it for the glow that it gives, but if you take a mattifying powder and you set it with it, it just like cancels that out.
Right, and then what's the point, right?
Right. So,
and if that's the case too, if that happened, you could always, you know, infuse that moisture and glow back in.
I like this.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's an amazing powder. And feeling wise, it doesn't feel heavy, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, especially under the eyes. The under eyes are such a delicate area. If you do have dry under eyes, this is not going to enhance any dry texture under the eyes. But even if we like do your whole face with this, it will soften up after I'd say like 30 minutes. It will like settle into your skin. It will start to look glowy again, but still smooth and refined. It's really an incredible powder. Okay, now that's on, we're actually gonna go back to Rosé. Let me have you look way, way up. I'm just gonna run a soft amount of this just lightly on her bottom lash line, just to balance out and to kind of finish up this eyeliner look. And then same thing, we're gonna go back to chocolate. Go look up one more time. Tucking this lightly into her lashes. Now, even for, you know, an effortless glam look, you still want to maintain it throughout the day, right? So the best way to maintain it is to lock in and layer. We're doing really thin, really light layers. So I'm going to do a very small layer of a powder blush to go on top of that cream, just to fully lock it in and to bring it back to life. So this is actually a favorite of mine. This is the shade Shy.
I need to get this.
These are amazing. Actually, I love all the colors. This is CL. So these are a SPF 45 powder blush. They're brand new. I'm obsessed with these. I'm going to take these.
I haven't seen these at Sephora yet. Maybe.
They might just be online.
Okay.
Yeah, they just launched.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a different N20 brush. This one we just used for powder previously. Just going to tap in, do a really light wash of this.
You know I like my blush.
I know. I love blush.
Give it to me.
Yeah, it's important to bring it back out too after we powdered the skin.
So pretty.
After we've done, you know,
so pretty, yep.
the highlighting and all that stuff. Even for a natural makeup look, you still want it to last. The fluffy bristles of the N20 are going to diffuse it.
So soft.
It's going to give you a really soft application of this, really soft wash of color. So if you're like, let's say more intimidated by blush and you're afraid of packing on too much, if you use a brush that's more of a diffusing brush, it's going to give you a really soft wash of that color, so you don't have to be afraid of applying too much.
Yeah, and I think it's great for those blush formulas that are very pigmented.
Oh yeah,
and you know this really gives you a lot more control over.
Yeah, because the
blushes
pickup is going to be a lot softer. Now, one of my favorite things to do, and actually one thing I've been doing in my own time before these brushes actually came out, was using this brush with whatever blush I was using and just softly running a little bit into that brow bone. So just like right here. And I'm talking the tiniest bit.
This brush is perfect for that.
Yes, it is.
Because if you take a more dense like blush brush and try and do this, you're going to mess up real quick.
It's going to be way too much.
Yeah.
It's going to run to your brows. Even when this is hitting your brows, it's not going to wreck your brows. This is something I've tested on myself too, because I have completely painted on brows, right? They're completely artificial at this point. And when I'm doing this technique, it doesn't disrupt my brows. And that was a big thing for me, right? I want to be able to use this brush and like even run into my brows without affecting them and without ruining the tail of them. But it's a great way to connect and give you that beautiful like wash of color. This is a great way to just give you a super cohesive look, even for like a more effortless glam look. Just ties it all together. And always whatever's left over, I just bring it across the nose. It just ties this whole makeup puzzle together.
Can't overdo it with me.
I know.
Blush. I love blush.
You know, the great thing about these is they're super buildable. So you can either do like a very soft wash of it, or you could really build up the intensity. I actually love to build up the intensity of these. And I also rationalize in my head because I'm just building up more SPF on my cheeks, which was where you really need it.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of baseball caps when I'm out and about, but my cheeks are still always being hit, you know, by the sun. So now we're going to take off Lisa's lip balm. It's marinated. It's done its thing. We're just going to take off the remainder of it. Now I want to do something that is just one of my favorite techniques of all time. This is totally optional, but I love to take the N22 brush. This is a dome shading brush. Eyes, lips, you can use it anywhere. I love to use it on the lips. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and dip it into that same cream bronzer that we used earlier. We're just going to do a teeny bit below Lisa's bottom lip. And again, very optional. This is just kind of my signature thing at this point. I love to do this.
You do this on yourself every day?
Every day. Every client. There's not one client. There's probably like one client actually that refuses it, but just one. Just a little bit, just to bring out her shape. So that way when we go in with lip liner, we already have like a soft definition going, and we can just apply a lot less. Now what's that's on? Another technique that I love to do is take the N20 S brush, the smaller baby version, same setting powder. This is the trick of all tricks. You want to lightly powder your lip line for longevity. Even for a soft, natural glam look, you still want your makeup to last. And that includes your lip. So just softly, very softly setting this area. And now we're gonna go with like one of my favorite pencils at the moment. This is Fig from Ruby Beauty. This is such a...
So creamy.
It's so creamy, it's so long wearing, and it's also very blendable and like movable until it dries down. Once it dries down, it's locked in. But this shade in particular is so your lips but better. It's like the perfect way to describe it. It just enhances your natural lip color. So Fig, we're gonna just apply this top and bottom. Now before that has time to dry down, go back to the N22 brush and we're gonna blend this out, just creating a really soft edge. So we're defined, but we're not defined in an intense way. You could of course use your fingers for this technique too, but I like the control of using the brush. And the taper tip is gonna help to just get in there and really smooth out that lip line so it's not overly done. Same thing, we're gonna blend it out, blend it inward towards her lip. And once you blend it towards the center of the lip too, it's gonna act like a base and like a primer for like even like a tinted lip balm to just stay on much longer.
Oh, look at those lips.
Now for lipstick, I'm a huge fan of all the candy glazes or the love shines, whatever you call them. I can't keep up with the name changes, to be honest. Sorry, YSL.
Well, there's two. There's candy glaze and there's
the love shine. Yeah. So I think one of them is more, love shine is the more pigmented ones. So actually most of these are the love shines from YSL. I have them all depotted just to save me some room and some weight in my makeup kit. One of my favorites is the shade 201. I'll make sure I link the exact name so you could check it out in the description box, but it's one of my all-time favorites. The same thing, I'm just gonna scoop some out with a spatula. They're balmy, they're really fresh looking. They double as a gloss, so you don't have to do two products. You can still get a nice wash of color on your lips without having to then put a gloss on top. So you're knocking out two things, and they just feel amazing on. So I'm gonna grab my N23 brush. This is a brush that is great for like fine detailing work on your eyes, whether it's your brow bone, your tear duct, but also I love and designed this brush to be a multi-purpose brush where you can use this as a lip brush. So on set, I've been using this for, you know, the last year and a half, lining people's lips with it, cleaning up their lip line and applying products to their lips. And it's a really great brush because it's flat and it's small enough that you can get into the inner corners without making a mess. It's a really pretty color on you. This goes great with Fig. Don't they smell amazing?
They do. They're lightweight. Wow, my lips are popping.
They're popping.
Yeah, they are.
Beautiful. Final step in order to lock in Lisa's makeup, even for this effortless, soft, like very easy
pretty.
glam.
Like this, yeah.
We're gonna lock it in with a final round of bronzer. This is a long-wearing bronzer. It's matte. It's gonna help to like balance out a lot of the dew and the glow that we have going on, so it's not overly glowy, and it's gonna help to enhance that cream bronzer we put on prior. So little, small, thin layer of this. This is the YSL All Hours Bronzer. These are so phenomenal. They're such a great formula. I love these. This, the Dior and the Armani, they're just crushing bronzers, I think. So well worth the investment, I think. I'm going to apply this with the N20 brush again because it's going to give a soft wash of this. I'm going to dip in, tap off a little bit of the excess, and I'm just going to hit a little bit around Lisa's cheekbone and around her temple. Don't forget the ear, buff it along here. And then same thing, I'm just going to tap it around her forehead. Just really thin layers of these products, keeping it really easy, really effortless.
I love it. This makeup feels like me.
Yeah. It's very you. It's polished. It's a soft glam that's not overly done. On her chin, a little on the nose. And then final step under the eyes. N22 brush, dip into the bronzer, and just do the tiniest bit of diffusing under her eyes. Charlotte Tilbury, my ride or die at this point. My airbrush setting spray. Hold your breath. I'm going to do a quick spray. And lock that in. Okay, so this is the final makeup look. This is Lisa's soft, effortless glam. Very achievable, I promise you, and very doable. You don't have to be a pro to accomplish a soft makeup look like this. How do you feel?
I love it. It's very, very me, but with a little like tweaks, you know? It's definitely something that I would do and wear every day.
Yeah.
I love it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. I love this makeup.
I love it too.
Definitely something that I would wear every day.
Yeah, you look like Lisa. You know, it's very softly defined. It's very effortless. It's just a beautiful look on you.
Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you.
Lisa could pull off any makeup look, but I know this is like her sweet spot.
Yeah, this is definitely me.
Yeah.
Such a treat having you on my channel.
It's such a treat every time I get to do your glam. I love it. We've had so many fun glam moments too, so this is just one of many. So come back more often, and I'll come to you, and we'll just glam together more often. And I'm just so excited for you guys to recreate this look. And if you do, tell Lisa how it went.
Yes, definitely. Leave any questions or comments you have down below. We're going to tag all the products, of course, that we used on YouTube Shopping. We'll also list them in the description box. If you haven't got your hands on Nikki Volume 2, we're obviously going to tag that, list that in the description box. But thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Bye.